The next place that will go on the tic-tac-toe board is that bottom row center square, which is strategic alliances. This is one that it takes people maybe a little bit of time to wrap their head around how they can apply it for them and their business. We found in the pool industry especially that our strategic alliances, when we approach that, we would define those as people that we can work with that are other providers of products or services that have some common ground that you can establish with them. So in the case of the pool industry, it could be manufacturers, and it could also be other people who are targeting the same audience that we are for our products and services. And as you delve into this square, it becomes one of the most powerful for sharing your messages, because you can co-promote your strategic alliances, and vouching for each other, especially in an industry, is a great idea. It also allows you to think in some creative ways that you may not have before in terms of how to create messages that resonate with your target audience and then share them strategically with your alliances to get those to reach a broader audience than you would have had before.
Yeah, that's such a deep square, but it's hard to see at first. One of the most obvious things, if you've been in business for any period of time and you have a list of people and clients that you work with, if you know what that audience looks like and you pair up with someone who has a similar audience base, just sharing customers and sharing lists and co-marketing, co-produce, co-vouching for each other is tremendously powerful. Because the cost of acquiring a customer can be astronomically high, depends on what you're selling. But if you can co-work with someone else who already is working in that same demographic of people, that's a really powerful and inexpensive way of doing it. And what are you trading off? You're sharing with them and they're sharing with you. There's really no loss. But it is powerful in terms of the result of what can happen. And that's just one of them. We can talk about manufacturers and how you can co-work with manufacturers and get some things to happen, or wholesalers, or people in completely different industries. But it's being aware that there's all these ways that you can align your message with other people that can be so powerful. And most people don't even think that. They think those are just magical things that happen to some people. No, those are strategic moves that allow you to move your business in the right direction.
One of the other ways that we've also developed our strategic alliances are as we focused on the center square of us, who we were, and we thought about our target audience, we were able to find other people that served segments of the audience that we were no longer going to be able to work with. So some of our strategic alliances are those people that we've got on a list next to the phone. When a phone call comes in and somebody's looking for a product or service that's something we could do, but we choose not to because we've defined our niche, we're able to send people off with some direction that they can call or work with potentially in the future. So it's a win-win for everyone. The customers love it because they feel like even if we can't help them, they're being helped in some way. And the people on the receiving end of all of those referrals from us love it as well. And that just creates some of those strong bonds, especially in the industry. It's better to create friends and think creatively with everyone rather than see anybody as competition.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of a story of just a matter of, maybe it was 2 months ago now, seeing one of these strategic alliances of ours walking out of a supplier as I'm walking in. And he said to me, hey, there's my business partner. He felt so strongly because of all of this work that we've passed his way that it's as if we were in business together. And yet what we recognize is none of that work was work that we wanted to do. Capable of doing? Sure. Didn't want to do it. Passed it on to him and he loved it because it was just creating this constant stream of work for him. So we had literally, in his mind, become his business partner. And that's an alliance that works really well because we look great. When we pass someone on and say,
we also feel great.
We feel great as well, but we look great to the customer because we're not saying, oh no, we don't do that. Instead we're saying, it's just not something that we do, but here is someone. We gently pass them on, and that feels really good for a customer instead of just being told no and hung up on. Instead it's like, well, here's your next opportunity. Here's someone that might be able to help you out.
Yeah. And that does take a little bit of time and effort to develop because, of course, if you're passing people along, you want to make sure that they'll be treated well when they get to that final destination. And it's definitely a place to spend some time.
It is. And there's, again, that discovery, we'll go into that in more depth later. There's a lot of powerful places people don't even think about how they can leverage and help each other to gain business.